Okay, so CTV went to Washington State and they got some random feedback from some random US citizens. And it sounds like they want things to go back to normal. I mean, tariff wise and for them. But I don't think we're ever going to go back to a regular, normal relationship that we had with the United States. I mean, the US administration right now, they could reverse every single tariff and threaten, apologize, whatever. It's never going to be the same for me. But the Canadian US Business Council, I think that's what they're called, they actually launched a couple apps, and it's supposed to educate our citizens, both sides of the border, on how much we rely on each other. Now, I kind of question how often this app is actually going to be used, or if anybody's actually going to care about it. But we'll talk about this as well. And I do want to give everybody a reminder, or anybody that's still going to the United States, ICE has not left their airports. And this guy here on the screen, he's a US citizen, and he has the same name and birth date as somebody that they're looking for. And he was about to board his flight, and I guess they told him to like hang around because they were gonna upgrade his flight or something. And then ICE came out and arrested him. So that's one of the major reasons why I'm not going to the United States. And if people still want to go, I mean, that's up to them. So we're gonna talk about these two reports in this video. And before I start, a huge shout out to everybody that subscribed to my Substack. We reached a milestone and I actually crossed 5,000 subscribers in less than a month. And for the paid subscribers, I actually activated the chat. So if you're paying a subscription on my Substack, you can chat with other members that are also doing it as well. I've actually wanted to do this with the old membership on YouTube, but YouTube never had that option. So now you can actually chat in real time with other members in the GTL community. So thank you to everybody for helping me cross that 5,000 subscriber mark. And I can't forget everybody who's still contributing to my Buy Me a Coffee page. It is really sincerely appreciated. All right, let's get started with the first report with some of the feedback from US citizens.
Well, Sandy, last week, both sides agreed to put some concessions on the table. And there's hope that they can make even more progress in the coming days. As the American capital deals with another sweltering day, trade talks between Canada and the U.S. are heating up. The Minister of Canada-U.S. Trade, Dominic LeBlanc, is coming to Washington in anticipation of more meetings.
Now, just a little bit on the trade talk. I mean, this is just my opinion, but I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit nervous on what Canada is going to be giving up. But I always have to remember to myself, like when the Gordie Howe Bridge opened up and it was reported that the United States was going to take 50%, it sounded bad in the beginning, but at the end of it, it really wasn't that bad. So hopefully we get more confirmation on what Canada is putting on the table. And I really hope we don't give up too much. I mean, when it comes to the alcohol ban, I don't want it on the shelves. And personally, I hope our provincial governments actually push back on that. But if it does go back on the shelves, then, Canadians, you know what to do.
Canada and U.S. are in the middle of these trade talks. Meantime, Americans here just want to see the relationship return to normal.
Definitely don't need more tariffs. Anything, get rid of it. And if you want to start off, you can lessen it, but definitely we need to get rid of it.
I think it's horrid. I think it's terrible for our world economy. I think it's bad for Canadian economy. It's bad for American economy.
Others admit they aren't following the movement of every meeting.
Okay, I don't expect U.S. citizens to follow every movement of every meeting. But I do have to ask a question. Do these people actually know what's going on? I don't know why. I mean, this is just me, but when maybe it's just the reporter on how he said it too. But I'm getting a vibe that these people really kind of have no idea what's going on. Or they may say, we don't follow politics and we don't involve ourselves. Now, I'm not accusing these people of this, but there are people in the United States that are completely clueless about what their country's doing right now. And I'll give my friend as an example. I have a friend in Nevada. He's a bit of a doorknob. But he is one of those friends that would drop everything he's doing to pick you up from the hospital. But I asked him a question. I was like, what do you think about these upcoming 50% tariffs that your president is throwing on my country? And his answer was, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. Is this new? And anytime I try to talk to him about the current political turmoil that's going on between our countries, he would change the subject. Change it to something about golf or NHL or some sort of sporting event that we have something in common to talk about. Unfortunately, he has zero interest in knowing what his country is doing to the rest of the world or getting involved or even having some knowledge about it. And he's only one person out of 350 million. Now, I'm not asking him to go out and protest every single day or start a resistance or anything. For me, it's just more about hoping that he and others put some sort of interest in what's going on. But I can't force him. And unfortunately, a big portion of the United States is just like my friend. Let me know in the comments below if you have a friend like mine in the United States that just really doesn't care or doesn't give a shit about what's going on. At least I know I'm not alone. Now, we know the U.S. businesses and tourism officials and even citizens, they want everything to go back to the way things were before. Because we were spending money in their country and things were cheaper for them because they didn't have tariffs. So basically, they want trade between Canada and the United States to go back to normal. But here's my question. Do Canadians want the trade between USA and Canada? Do we want it to go back to normal? And here's my answer, and this is just my opinion. No, I don't want it to go back to normal. I don't want Canada to be so reliant on the United States where they can hold it over our heads. I want Canada to start to diversify and make partnerships with other countries around the world. And I also do not want Canada to be funding any US corporations that are supporting the Taco Tuesday regime. Like I said in my previous videos, I've seen too much. I've heard too much. I've also seen too many US government officials, both on the right and the left, Democrats and Republicans, gaslighting Canada into thinking that we're the problem in all of this. So do I want trade to go back to normal? Not a chance in hell. I want us to trade more with Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Asia, South America, South Africa, anybody else. We'll trade with the penguins. Because you can't just go piss off your neighbors and then press rewind and think everything's going to be okay. It's not.
That's why the Canadian American Business Council launched 2 educational interactive games. One shows Canadians how the U.S. is often the source of everyday grocery items, and the other shows Americans how many states count on Canada as their top customer.
Really highlighting how important and integrated we are has been really valuable.
The CABC also commissioned a study to show the impacts of tariffs and a possible collapse of CUSMA. It shows Canada could see a $271 billion hit to the GDP over the next decade without the trade deal. In the U.S., it would be a $1 trillion loss over 10 years.
Now, going back to that game or quiz that they created for Canadians and United States citizens, my question is, how are you actually going to get people to use it? Because this is just my opinion, but those that actually care, I mean, they're going to do the research. They're going to read up, and they're going to get knowledge on what's going on. I mean, it's a great initiative and stuff, but I just don't see how they're going to get an audience on it. I mean, I can show this picture right here. And right away, you can see which states rely on Canada the most. I mean, it's pretty blue if you ask me. But looking at the numbers that are on the screen right now, like without CUSMA over the next 10 years, Canada is set to lose $271 billion Canadian, and the United States is going to lose $1 trillion USD. Now, to everyone watching this video, whether you're in Canada or the United States, you're going to care about this, and it's a big concern for a lot of us. But if I ask my friend in Nevada, are you worried about your economy losing $1 trillion? I'm pretty sure he would say, like, nah, not really.
But keeping it in place could see growth and more jobs.
A successful agreement would also support 137,000 additional U.S. jobs and 98,000 Canadian jobs in 2027 alone.
While those talks continue, there is a sense of urgency on the trade front. The U.S. has threatened a 50% tariff on a wide swath of Canadian goods if a deal can't be hammered out in the next 9 days.
So we have 9 days for Diaper Dawn to pull another taco. And when I say taco, it means like Trump always chickens out. But we already know the pattern. I mean, something might happen like a day before or 2 days before, and Taco Tuesday is going to announce that he got an amazing deal for the United States and that the United States is winning again. And then when you get into the nitty gritty of the actual details, we'll be looking at it like, that's it? That's all we gave up? Or Taco Tuesday will agree to something that's already in place. I mean, he's just dumb like that. So I guess we'll see in 9 days. Hopefully it turns out that way. But if we're judging by the past, I mean, this is the regular routine. So I guess we'll see. Now, moving on to the next video. If you have a common first name and last name, you might want to watch this if you're going to go to the United States anytime soon.
Good Monday evening, everyone. I'm Linda Stouffer.
And I'm George Estevez. A Cartersville man says ICE agents wrongly detained him at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Channel 2's Ashland Webb joining us live now from the airport. So, Ashland, he told you agents put him in handcuffs on Sunday just as he was about to board his flight.
Yes, and he is an American citizen. He tells me he is still shaken by what happened over the weekend. He tells me that he made it through TSA here. He showed his ID, went through facial recognition, but as he was about to board his flight, he says 3 ICE agents stopped him.
Now, if you're a U.S. citizen watching my video right now, well, first of all, I thank you for watching my videos. But second, just because you hold a U.S. passport doesn't mean you're actually safe. And I've been through your airports like plenty of times, and I just can't imagine going through, like, say, Harry Reid Airport or LAX, always looking over my shoulder or always, like, scanning the area to see if, like, ICE is going to be around. And for the guy that you're going to see upcoming, I mean, he's a U.S. citizen, and he was able to prove that he was, a U.S. citizen. But for us that are not U.S. citizens, I'm sure the process of being released is going to take way longer, maybe even months.
I'll never approach a door of an aircraft without wondering if there's guys standing back there.
John Phillips says it was supposed to be a routine work trip to Las Vegas, but a Delta agent told him the airline was working to upgrade his seat. He just needed to board last.
Imagine being told that you're going to get an upgrade to first class, and the next thing you know, you're in handcuffs. I mean, I've been upgraded a few times on flights, and usually it's a happy thing, and they'll reissue your ticket. But now when you hear it from an airline worker at the gate, you got to think, okay, is ICE going to be coming around the corner in the next couple minutes?
I'm the only person there, and I get within 3-4 feet of the door, and out jumps 3 agents.
Phillips says 3 ICE agents in tactical gear stopped him in the jet bridge, pinned him to the wall, and put him in handcuffs. Phillips says he didn't resist.
And they cuffed me and start asking me, what's your name? What's your birthday? I tell them I'm an American citizen.
He says after about 5 minutes in handcuffs, agents found his Georgia ID and showed him a picture of the man they were actually looking for.
He looks nothing like me, other than that he's a white guy and I'm a white guy.
Now, you would think, like, if the guy does not look anything like this guy, that they would say, okay, maybe this is not the guy. But it seems like they arrest first and then they ask the questions after. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of common sense when it comes to ICE.
Phillips says agents told him the other man was from England, but shared his name and birthday. Immigration attorney Charles Cook told me I still must have probable cause to make an arrest.
There was no probable cause here. A matching name and birthday is not probable cause.
I mean, when they realized that you weren't their guy, was there any apology?
No, not at all. And
Phillips now wants to know how this happened.
I just am flabbergasted that all of this security that we have at the airport, that they don't know that I am the John Phillips that lives in Georgia and is not an English guy.
Well, first of all, I would not expect an apology from these guys. These guys don't know how to apologize. I mean, these guys also failed an open book test. I mean, how the fuck do you fail an open book test? But this guy here, he's right on one thing. They have the technology to identify if this guy was from the UK or if he's a US citizen. I mean, when anyone buys a ticket, it asks you what country you're from and where your citizenship is. So you would think it would be linked to the ticket, or at least do a little bit more research than just searching by the first name and birthday. Now, for a domestic flight, I'm sure the requirements on what identification you need to give is completely different, which is probably why. But what I'm trying to say is that maybe they should just do a little bit more like research before they say, okay, this is our guy.
And I've been in touch with ICE throughout the day. They are still working on a statement, but did confirm to me this actually happened. Now, Delta released a statement to me saying, in part, Delta employees do not have insight into or control over law enforcement decisions, and our role is to ensure flights operate safely and customers are treated with respect. We are reviewing this event internally and are reaching out to the customer directly. Now, the airport referred us to federal officials.
So the airports and the airlines, they don't care about you. They're just going to refer you to someone else, which also doesn't make me feel any easier that, hey, if I'm illegally detained or wrongfully detained, nobody's going to help me. Now, this next part here, they talk about TSA sharing the information with ICE, and this part really makes me uncomfortable.
Ashlyn, let's get more details right now on a policy that lets TSA and ICE share passenger information. That agreement took effect in May of last year. It lays out how the two agencies should share, store, and maintain the info. The Trump administration confirmed TSA shared passenger information in December with ICE for immigration enforcement, but the memo came to light 2 weeks ago when a watchdog group, American Oversight, they received the memo through a Freedom of Information Act request.
So the sharing of data between TSA and ICE is still happening, which means that, when you're going through the TSA scanner, ICE already knows your information. And for me, this really enforces me not going to the United States, but also not doing stopovers as well. I've done a few stopovers in the United States where I'm coming from Asia and then I have to do a stopover in San Francisco and then off to Vancouver. And the stupid thing about that is you still have to go through the CBP desk. You have to get your bags. You have to get out of the airport. Then you got to check back in and then go through security again. To me, that's too much interaction with the US airport that I don't feel comfortable with. But the sharing of the data, this really makes me uncomfortable. And with the way technology is going these days and the airport streamlining their process, biometric gates and facial recognition and fingerprints, that's going to become normal. And if you want to travel, you're going to have to go through these gates. I mean, I've already accepted it. But the biggest difference is that when I'm traveling in other areas of Southeast Asia for work, I have to go through some of these gates, which means that their governments does have my information. But the biggest difference is that these countries, their government's not weaponizing the data. Unlike the United States, when you're going through TSA, your information is probably already with ICE if they want it. And if the Department of Homeland Security wants more information out of you, they're just going to ask the big tech guys for the information. So going to Disneyland or Florida might not just be a simple trip. Because if you've been critical of the United States government or you said something bad that they don't like, they're going to know you're going to be on a flight to the United States somewhere. And then TSA will know that you're landing, and ICE will also have that information as well. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be at Disneyland looking over my shoulder. I know many of you watching this video right now, we're not going to the United States at all. But maybe send this video to someone that you might know that's still going. The backdrop that you're looking at today comes from my mom, and I believe they took this photo when they were landing in YVR from Toronto. I believe this is from last year when they did their Eastern Canada trip, where they went to Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. But I'm showing this photo because it's my home, and I miss it. And I'm going to be home in about just over 2 weeks, and I'm really looking forward to it. I know some of you on Discord, as well as sending me by email, that you mentioned that I'm really starting to show that I'm getting homesick. And I'm not afraid to admit it, I am getting homesick. I mean, I was supposed to come home last June, but that stupid FIFA World Cup event basically jacked up the prices everywhere. But I am looking forward to coming home, and I'm really looking forward to being able to do walk and talk videos and show the community who's not from Vancouver, the city that I'm born. And rain or shine, I'm going to do videos regardless. I'm only back in Vancouver for a short amount of time, so I'm going to make the most out of it. So look forward to those videos towards the end of the month, and I'll give everybody a heads up if there's any days I'm going to miss because of travel. But thanks again, Mom, for sending this photo over to me. Now, some of you actually asked, what's your first meal going to be when you get back to Vancouver? And I think it's a no-brainer. It's going to be a buddy burger. Or maybe a teen burger. I don't know yet. But I'm so determined that I already checked to see what time it closes, just to make sure that I get there in time. Then I'll probably binge on some Japanese food in Vancouver. Some of you might be asking, don't you get this food in KL? I do, but it just doesn't taste the same. It's not like comfort food back home. Oh, I can't forget about the Costco hot dog as well. Oh, and La Bella Poutine as well. Definitely have to go here. Maybe I should make a food video. I don't know. Would anybody actually watch that? But as you can tell, I am excited to come home, and I'm looking forward to it. So I hope everybody got some value out of this video, and if you did, and you want to support my channel, consider checking out my Substack page as well as my Buy Me a Coffee page. Thanks everyone, I'll see you in the next video.